Hi guys, welcome to week 4 online. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I just wanted to uh, talk about a couple of just general points about my Google Classroom and then talk about what you're going to be doing this week. First off, I've had a couple of questions just about whether I'm going to keep assigning work one assignment at a time or whether I'm going to go back to giving you all the weekly assignments in one day. And the answer to that is that I'm going to keep giving them to you one at a time, but I'm trying to give you no more than 3 assignments in a week and give those to you on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday so that I'm not giving you anything after Wednesday. That way, potentially you could finish working on Wednesday for my class if you needed to. I would say the most important thing to keep in mind is that you need to try to finish all of my work by the Friday after it's due, just to keep you on track. But the very most important thing to do if you want to raise your grade in English 11, which could help your GPA, is to just complete all the assignments. So you all have been doing a great job of letting me know if you have questions, so just continue to put private comments in those assignments if you have questions, and I'll try to answer them. Also, attendance has been down for Zoom office hours, which is fine. You don't have to come to Zoom office hours, but I'm going to only hold them every other week. So I held them last week and I won't hold them this week. I'll wait until next week to do that, but I'll put a little notice in the stream so you can see that if you want to log in next week. So as far as this week in our classroom goes, we're doing 3 things. I think the work is a little lighter this week. First, you're going to reflect on I Bought a Little City. You guys wrote an academic paragraph about an element of postmodernism that you were pretty sure you could find 2 examples of in the story. And today or earlier this week, I'd like you to think about 1 or 2 other elements of postmodernism you think are evident in the story. Just to brainstorm a bit, I would also encourage you to, after you answer the question, go in and view other students' answers, which you can do in that question section, and just read around a little bit and see what people think. Then I'm going to have some more specific review questions for I Bought a Little City to wrap it up, and those will be about specific places where specific elements of postmodernism can be found. So you'll have to give a little text evidence on those, but it's not a paragraph assignment by any means. And then the last thing and the major thing for this week is some postmodern poetry stations. And those will be for early forms of postmodern poetry. They are imagist, confessional, and beat poetry, and they span several years from the late 50s to the late 60s. So they're 3 very different types and forms of poetry. The stations activity just means you're reading a little bit about the history of that form, and then you're going to select a poem from each one to read and analyze. So it should be all in one assignment sheet or one assignment page. It's not like you have to go to stations. I'm just calling it stations because that's how it usually works in my classroom. But as we do postmodern poetry, we're really working on this standard about determining the meaning of words or phrases, specifically their stylistic or linguistic impact. So we're not necessarily getting into this whole standard analyzing meaning and tone, but we are going to think about how the style of those poems fits some of the elements of postmodernism. So that's the main assignment. That's the main stuff for this week. Wrapping up I Bought a Little City, moving on to some postmodern poetry. So I hope everybody has a good week and happy reading.